they forgot to have KPIs on their relationship. So it is very important to measure all aspects of your life. My name is Topp. I'm the founder and the group CEO of Bitkub. We are the largest digital asset and blockchain player in the Southeast Asian region. I think the first principle leaders need to know for 2025 onwards is to learn about the contributive strategy, not just the competitive strategy. Every company would need to refocus not only just the outputs or the performance of the company, but to give more resources to the outcomes, not just the output, and also the progress, or not just the performance. Every company would need to be able to voice out something based on their value system, be clear on what their identity is, and make choices instead of decisions, to have a character. So we both need to focus on having a career. We still need to focus on maximizing outcomes subject to minimum means rationality, but at the same time we have a collective responsibility or role to play as a company now to make the world a better place. And eventually, I think the society, the customers will be rewarding the companies that are devoting resources more towards the contributive strategy, not just the purely competitive strategy or purely incentives based. Profit-driven company alone will not do as well as an impact-driven company going forward. I think that is the key principle to learn from this year. The economic definition of success has changed. We need to understand the new economic success, definition of success of the future. Secondly, the world is moving towards a highly volatile and uncertain world. We, as a business leader, we need to learn how to lead under uncertainty. We need to have the ability to reframe uncertainty towards possibility. We have to operate on a frontier, be the first to launch the product, be the first to launch the new ideas. There comes a lot of uncertainty, but at the same time, huge opportunity and possibility. So as a leader, I think we need to reframe uncertainty. There are two sides of the same coin. We need to be able to reframe uncertainty towards what could be possible, right? Possibility. Most of the people that are operating on the frontier, they usually say that they love uncertainty. Some say they eat uncertainty for breakfast, right? But on the back end, their life is pretty certain. They always sit on the same seat on the airplane. They live in the same hotel room. They always have a certain set of food or clothing. Other aspects of their lives are pretty certain when they're operating under uncertainty as a leader, or their non-work aspects. So I think it is as a leader, when we are operating on a frontier, we're going to have to lead the team under uncertainty. Right? We need an uncertainty balancer to help us prepare to face uncertainty better as a leader. And the third concept is to make sure that we have a habit or a habitual, recurring meetings or indoctrination process within the company, so that we create this anchoring mechanism for all the employees to rely on. They can act as uncertainty balancer for our employees as well. So do not underestimate the importance of having recurring daily scrums or recurring weekly meeting or show and tell. Those are very important sessions that employees are really relying on every week, that everyone is looking forward to when the world is heading towards more and more uncertainty. So instead of focusing on just productivity, leaders need to create an anchoring mechanism within the company to create this uncertainty balancer for the team as well. Another concept I think to learn or to implement is to create this risk barometer for your personal lives as well as for the company's metrics. There are different kinds of risks, right? On the personal side, some may worry about physical risk, some may be worried about emotional risk, some may be worried about financial risk or political risk, or intellectual risk. There are all sorts of risk. And as a Harvard professor said, many of the graduates, like Harvard graduates, they're doing well in life financially because they have clear KPIs on what target they need to hit, right, financially. They are doing well in terms of fame and power. But many people are unhappy because of relationships. They forgot to have KPIs on their relationships. So it is very important to measure all aspects of your life and know your risk. You have to create this risk mapping, risk barometer, so you know how to devote your personal resources, your time, your money to prepare yourself as a leader and know yourself well before you can lead others. You have to create this risk barometer and see what kind of risks are the most important to you, and create a different metrics, risk metrics or risk parameter for the company as well. So we can allocate our budget accordingly, right, towards what's the most important right now for the company. I think that's another key concept to implement. Lastly, the future of marketing, onwards after this year is very different. In the past, people were focusing on traditional marketing or words, right, word of mouth. A great company that they did great marketing recently is called Gentle Monster. It's a newly established glasses company, right, from Korea, South Korea. What's interesting about this company is that they only have about 6 designers to design the glasses, but they have 60 designers to design their shops, the visual merchandising, and they are able to skyrocket their sales of their glasses. What's more important today in terms of the future of marketing? There's this metrics called you put image search, right, on Google, right, image search divided by overall search. If this metric is more than 1, then most likely that company is doing well, right? Marketing now is driven mostly by imagery and short videos. So I think that's a useful technique for companies to link between contributive strategy, the ability to identify what's your core or real authentic identity, what's your character, what do you stand for, what do you want to voice out to the society, what is the progress that you measure, not just the outputs or the performance, but what would be your outcomes and your progress. But then link that and create a communication method into an imagery or short videos to differentiate your company to the rest. And future of luxury is moving away from materialistic things towards experiences. How do you combine this imagery ratio with the future of luxury that the world is moving towards experiences more, and your contributive strategy? How do you combine these 3 principles to create a uniqueness, provenance, authenticity for your company this year onwards, and how to lead your team under uncertainty with these few key principles that you can apply within your organization from this year onwards. Right now, our country relies on traditional GDP. In other words, physical trade. Right? And everything that we create income from has to be physical commodity. Whether we are talking about automobile parts, rice, rubber, those are all what we call a physical trade. Right? But if you look at developed nations, for example, China, 44% of their GDP comes from digital economy already. They understand, or they are able to create new types of trades, 4 types of trades in particular. The first new types of trade is called digital trade, right? Intangible products. not physical product, digital trade. Second type is called service trade. Third type is called digital service trade, which AI will play a big role going forward in terms of the digital service trade. And then lastly, green, what we call a green trade, which grew 300% last year, 3 times last year. These are the 4 new activities that we need to foster as a country. We can't purely rely on just physical trade and expect Thailand to solve this middle income trap issue, because physical trade has barely not enough premium to trickle down the premium to everyone in our country. There's not enough premium to lift the overall wage level up to solve this middle income trap issue. Thailand needs to transition itself from a primary market economy, from a secondary market economy into a tertiary economy. Fosters digital trade, service trade, digital service trade, and green trade. We need to unlock new types of activities, new types of GDP for this country going forward.